watch this video and then we're gonna talk.
This is a common response I get from black women who find out that my wife is white. A curious but not at all surprising thing happens where women kind of leap to my defense and with this whole like love is love thing and ask why are you hating blah blah blah, and I'm gonna ask y'all to not do that. You might ask, Chris, are you seriously about to defend black women who are coming after you from white women who are just trying to defend you? And the answer is that's exactly what's about to happen. White women, come to the front of the class. What you may not know, because you're not black, is that there's a shockingly large number of black men who date white women specifically because they hate black women. The standard complaint is that black women are too high maintenance, they have bad attitudes, they complain too much, they're too loud, and their standards are too high. And people, not just men, will try to paint this as some kind of internal character and cultural flaw within black women instead of acknowledging what it is, which is the fact that black women don't have as much room to fuck around. The stakes are higher for black women and they have fewer chances to make mistakes and recover. And there's a lot of black men who wish to enjoy the same perpetual adolescence as white men who just kind of throw their hands up, say black women have a bad attitude, and just go after white women. That is to say, white women who have more flexibility to put up with their bullshit. And there's enough of those dudes around when you see somebody like me with a white woman, there's a high probability that that person like me would be one of those people. So that's the thing. When you see a black guy with a white woman, it could mean one of two things. It could mean nothing, or it could mean that guy hates black women. Now, you're a white woman, you believe in fairness, or at least you think you do, so you might be asking yourself, well, if it might be one or the other, why not give them the benefit of the doubt and assume that it means nothing? Come again to the front of the class. Repeat after me. Black women do not owe anyone the benefit of the doubt anymore, especially not now. If you can't look at what's going on in the world right now and understand why black women are done assuming that everybody else is the good guy and has good intentions, then I don't think you're paying very much attention. But anyway, in my case, I'm married to a woman purely out of coincidence. I dated lots and lots and lots of black women when I was coming up in my dating days, and they never did me dirty at all. Really, probably the only reason I'm not married to a black woman is because they kept moving to Atlanta. That's what black women did when they were upwardly mobile in the early 2000s. And then, one day, in the middle of all that, I ran into the woman that would become my wife, completely by happenstance. And as it happens, when God puts a Ferrari in your driveway, you don't send it back because it's the wrong color. Now, I'm not colorblind. There were a lot of tests that she had to pass and hoops she had to jump through and people in my family she had to please to make sure that she would be fit to, especially be a mother to black and indigenous children, being neither herself. But, and this was a surprise even to me, she passed those tests. No, we live happily ever after. But for the rest of y'all white women, y'all leave them black women alone because they have every right to be suspicious.
So, who is this man? I remember that his name is Chris. I know that he is a farmer based in the United States. And I remember that I used to follow him on Instagram because I was like, ooh, black farmer. I'm intrigued. And I was watching a lot of his stuff, and then I think that his account on Instagram got banned because the mayonnaise nationalists came in and were like, black. Especially because if I remember correctly, his content over time started to become more overtly political because of the the problematic people in the comment sections trying to be racist, basically. Not trying to be, actively and intentionally succeeding at being racist. And so I think that he's not over there anymore. I think he's on YouTube. I'll tag him below. But there's a larger conversation. There's two larger conversations that I want to have about this, and I'm going to start one of those conversations now. Before I get too much further, hi, my name is Shayna. I'm a journalist. I talk a lot about child-free living and decentering men. If any of that sounds like a vibe, please like, share, and subscribe. And for all the good stuff, definitely follow me on Patreon because there's a lot that I can't say on here. So, now that we've gotten that out of the way, I'm going to refer to the handy-dandy notebook. Am I praising him? No. Am I saying that he did the right thing? Yes. And we are unfortunately not used to men in our community as black women doing the right thing when it pertains to us. So here's another way of thinking about this. I think that, for example, there are a lot of women who are interested in men who go on dates with men where when they get flowers for the first time, they think, oh my God, he must be in love with me. This is amazing. I need to tell all of my friends and all my family. And oh my gosh, he didn't even flinch when the bill came, he just like put his card down. Oh, I think he's the one for me. This is insane. Or where like there's other people where, for example, and this is very unfortunate because I met people that have these kinds of thoughts that are like, well, you know, he's great because he hasn't cursed me out. He's never called me a bitch ever. He's such a gentleman. This is what a lot of us are, unfortunately, this kind of comparison is what we are used to, unfortunately. And not just us, but other people outside of our Black community. Going back to the date analogy, a lot of women are not used to being treated well as a bare minimum. So when they are treated well, they take that treated well and they add like an extra 5 stories where that should just be the baseline. You should expect to be treated well. But a lot of people are not used to that, and so they inflate it to be more than what it is. In the dating process, it's like, oh, well, you need to know if you have similar senses of humor, similar values, if you whatever, right? Like there's personality that gets put into this, right? But if you take that thing that's supposed to be at the base level and throw it all the way up to the ceiling and make sure that it sticks, then things have gone awry. So while I think what he said was well worded and succinct, and I agree with it, and I'm grateful that he said it, I also don't want us to, and this isn't even about him necessarily, but when it comes to men that are just doing the right thing, let's just take it as that. Men that are doing the right thing. They're not God's gift to every vagina that they've ever walked next to. They're just a guy doing the right thing. And then on top of that, most people, including white women, which he's talking about, which are like the subject, the person that he is directing that specific video to. Most people, including white women, are not used to other people, including Black men, standing up for Black women, which is why I think this video and other videos like this tend to get so much traction. And inversely, videos where men within our community speak poorly or make fun of Black women also get a lot of traction because it's scratching that itch, that problematic itch in a lot of people's brains that go, oh yeah, we're supposed to be punching down on Black women. For example, there's a video going around, I'm not going to post a screenshot of it, but there's a guy who's making fun of Serena Williams dancing during the Kendrick Lamar halftime show. He dresses up like a weird version of her, but like not like, he dresses up in a way to make fun of her and starts dancing. And this video is getting like millions of views, and he's just like, oh, ha ha ha, this is just a joke, guys, calm down. No, this is an insult to Black women, more specifically Serena Williams and Black women in general. And unfortunately, this is what people expect. But also there's something very specific in his video that I would like to address further. So if you want to hear my thoughts on that, hop over to Patreon so we can continue this conversation. And in general, stay safe out there.